coming in live with Kate Astle today. As always, I like to open by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm coming to you today, where I work, live and play. That's the Kumbumerri people of the Gumbe language region, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Getting Kate on here now. There we go. Kate, we were having a who's answering who? Wait, so I'm going to invite her to come on. Look at us. And here we go. So Kate will jump in live any second. Hello. Here we go. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yes, good to see you. It's so fun.
I was just sitting there waiting for the request to come through.
Me too. We were both like, you're hosting. No, you're hosting. So, we are both here talking.
Yes.
It's fabulous. So how are you, my lovely?
It is fabulous. I am so good. Hey, I've got so much going on at the moment that is filling my cup, and it's actually overflowing my cup. I've started to live from this place of not just filling my cup to the point where it's full. It's like that is just the bare minimum for me, is for my cup to be full. And then everything else I do is just the overflow from the cup. And so I'm intentionally living that way at the moment, and it's freaking amazing.
I love that. My kinesiologist gave me that one. I think it's on my wall somewhere. She said, give from the overflow. Because, we tend to, I top up my cup a bit. And then I'm like, cool, give it away. I pour it out everywhere. And then, oh, wait, I got to top it up again. And it's always, it's not filling. It's, because I'm always giving it before it's full. So she's like, no, you're fully full. And then if there's any left over, then other people can have that.
Yeah, I think that should be where everyone's baseline is. So many people refer to like letting your cup go empty and needing to do things to fill it up, but your cup should never get near empty.
Yeah.
So it's just finding all those activities that you can do to make sure that it stays full.
I love that. And tell me how what sort of things are you doing?
Day to day, I think the biggest thing is finding something that brings you purpose and passion every single day. I think that's the biggest thing, right? So I'm loving helping so many women build their branding business at the moment, similar to what you're doing. And I've pivoted to kind of specialize in content strategy and content creation. And it's just being creative, I think, is something that definitely fills my cup. And so when I can do that and help other people do that as well in a way that's not overwhelming, it just lights me up.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah.
And you create a lot of content.
I do create a lot of content. I actually created 3 reels this morning. I was like flipping through, just finding inspiration. I'm someone that I don't necessarily create from within. I get inspired by my surrounds. So me sitting and scrolling through my reels on Instagram is a daily occurrence. I know a lot of people say, oh, I need to stop the scroll, but it's actually what I do to kind of find inspiration and kind of pivot and twist it so that it applies to either my audience or someone else's audience. And so I was sitting there flipping through this morning. And one of the biggest things I think I've had to let go of recently, or not recently, when I got into content creation, is perfectionism. So I used to try and do a reel where it's got like a trending audio where you mime what they say and it wouldn't line up properly, or my head wouldn't be at the right angle, or the lighting wasn't perfect, or there's a huge list of things that would happen. I'd retake it. This morning, I think I made 3 or 4 reels in a space of maybe 5 minutes, where it's like I got it on the first or second take and I just saved them to my drafts to bank with captions or with, words on the screen at a later date. So I've got a few things coming up that I'm looking at launching similar to yourself. So I'm just saving those in the bank so that when I've got the words to pair with the visual, they're ready to go. But tell me about what you've been doing.
Yeah, no, well, you helped me a lot with that actually, because when we met on the retreat in March, we met on the Ladies Without Limits retreat in gorgeous Melbourne in the Yarra Valley, which was fabulous. And I don't know if we were still talking about it or I already saw some of your content, but it was I don't think, just started chatting and both liked making reels, but you were making a lot higher volume. And it was that just thing of just like, just make it. And we made one with all of the women there. And, we just see one and go, oh, we've done a few together, which I'd love to get back to because it was so fun doing that, even though
I've
we're not
actually got a
together.
few saved. Yeah, I've got a few saved that we need to do with some cool transitions.
Yes, that would be so good. Because yeah, it's just I was doing the same, just getting stuck in my head and waiting for the perfect caption and da da da. Whereas I found like the ones that have worked best, like I'm lying in bed and yeah, doing the scroll, and then I see it and I go, oh well, I'll do it later. Well, I'm not in the mood later, or I don't know why I wanted to do that one later, and then trying to recreate it doesn't work. So I've just been like, stuff it. The lighting's not amazing. I'm clearly in my Qantas pajamas, but oh well. And I did it. And then some of those got like way more reach than ones that I, sat there and pestered over. So yeah, I think the
That
spontaneity
is
is
so true.
good.
Yeah, I'd love for anyone who is either live or watching this back to drop an emoji in the comments if you have made a reel that you thought was really dodgy and then it got a heap of views and a heap of likes and you just don't know why that got all of the views compared to something you spent, 3 days on trying to perfect.
Yes. But also like I've started using it, and you laughed at one of my ones with this where it was like all the bloopers, because sometimes you do have to record a couple of times, and so you get this weird thing like your feed, you just look like a crazy person because you've got all these like solo videos of you doing stuff. And I was like, well, I'm not going to use this for anything else, so I just was like, this is a blooper reel, this is what happens, like the reels that you see, this is all the things that happen to get to that reel. And I did one today, actually. I just messed up the miming, and then I was like, that's actually really funny. And I'll put a caption to it at another point and be like, I didn't get this right, but it's okay. It was like, and it was even funnier. It was like a brilliant idea. And it's like when you have a brilliant idea, and then I like kind of, because I stuffed up the miming, I went, and it was like when you have a brilliant idea and then you forget it, or then when you lose it, or when it's actually not a brilliant idea and you fail. But yeah, the fail ones are actually kind of funnier. And I had a client who I did a Reels day with, and they got 26,000 views on just a reel where she's like stacking it over a machine, and they're like hashtag fail, like hashtag DIY fail. And that's the one that's done the best.
There's a audio that's like, I think it says everything is content. Everything
Yes.
is content.
I can't wait to
And
use that one. I feel like I'm going to use it once a week
yeah,
just to trash all my videos.
yeah. Well, the biggest thing that I think I'm telling my small business owners at the moment is just to take like 3-second videos throughout your day, or even if you've got an iPhone, take a live photo because on Reels they turn into video. And so if you just take a photo of the stuff that you do throughout your day, it could be a meal, it could be like outside, it could be at your desk, it could be like a photo of you trying to do Reels, or the bloopers. And like you can put them all together because there's that many audios out there at the moment that are actually like promoting the imperfections of content creation, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah. One of my clients sent me that, and she's like, this is what you say. And I was like, it's true. And I was like, that's the most perfect line. And I do think that, yeah, like once a month, I could just be like, dump all this content into the everything is content, everything. And now it's in my head, and I'm like, we make it everything is content.
I know I'm probably really bad at the moment. I'll get to like something will happen in life, and then I'll think of a jingle. They're almost like jingles with the audio for the reel, and then I'll say something, and it's like, oh, you do way too much content.
That's what
Uh,
exactly what happened today. As soon as I had this idea, I went, I have a brilliant idea. And I was like, I need to find the audio. Who did that recently where I can find the audio? Because you can't always search. Like if you write brilliant idea, it
yeah,
doesn't necessarily come up with that audio. So, but I was like, who's done it? And I'm like, Kate must have done it. Scroll, scroll, scroll. No, Jade's done it. No, scroll, scroll. So I know my people who are doing good reels. I'm like, you've used that, I swear.
yeah. If anyone's watching and you want to use a trending audio, if you go back and look at my reels, they were all trending at the time that I did them. So if you don't want to search through Instagram and find trending audio, you can just go and look at the latest reels.
And how do
I
you
don't
feel
know
about
about you.
using audio
Yeah,
again? Like, do you really like an
I'm fine
audio?
with that. I'm fine with even using the same video. So
Mm.
what I will do is I will save the video that goes with the audio. and remove, because like most of the stuff that I do, I put a hook on the screen so there'll be text on it. Don't save it with the text on it, but save the video, save the audio. And when you've got something that's relevant to that same audio, you can reuse that whole piece of content for something else.
So good. Yes, because that's
Highly recommend doing that.
piecing it together is such a pain.
Yeah.
And I do tend to save it now as I go, and especially if I've been like one I was doing, I think when we did like the ladies all together, I did another one like that where it was like we're all jumping in and sharing together, and yeah, it stuffed up, and it was so annoying because I'd spent the time making sure each piece connected, but I had saved a chunk of it, so I was like, well, I'll use that chunk, and then I only have to do the edits of the last part. But you do get faster at it. But yeah, I accidentally I had one
definitely
saved.
save. Mm.
Yeah, well, I had one saved, and I had like I just needed to post another reel. I didn't need to, but I wanted to post a reel that day. I was like, oh, well, I'll use one from drafts. Didn't realize that the day before I just on the spot made an audio, like one with that exact same audio. So I have 2 reels in a row with the same. I was like, clearly I liked this.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't
nobody's
matter.
necessarily like, it matters to me. Well, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter, but nobody is paying that much attention. And if they are, thank you. But majority do not give a damn as much as we do.
Definitely not. I've actually reposted the same reel a couple of times, but I just hid one from my grid because I wanted to invite someone to be a collaborator on it, and it didn't work. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this at the moment, but if you have an Android phone, not an iPhone. So I did a reel. It was on point, invited someone with an Android phone to be a collaborator. It comes up in their messages saying, yes, like be a collaborator review. They click that, and then there's no accept button. And on mine, it says waiting for them to become a collaborator. And then what we ended up doing is having them log on their Instagram on my phone because it's an Apple, and they were able to accept it. It just wasn't on there on the Android.
That's weird.
Yes. So if anyone's experienced that, log in on an Apple, and you can accept it.
It's so annoying when someone's like, they'll tell me they can't find the audio. You know, my clients are like, I can't see the audio. Why are you seeing these audios? I'm like, it's just there. It's just there. And it's like, I can't help you because I can't see what you can see. And then it turns out it was they had the creator. They should have been a creator, or they were a creator, and yeah, like
did that impact the little arrow on the bottom as to whether or not they could see if it was trending?
No, they just couldn't see any audio. They couldn't get any of the like original audios. They only could get some songs that either they're not many. They couldn't search things. It's like you have to be a creator, not a business.
Yeah.
Personal, which is weird.
Which is frustrating, hey.
So
mine's a business too.
Maybe we did it before they changed it. So I don't know. It's not one size. Yeah, it's
anyone else.
That's troubleshooting.
No.
Yeah,
probably people that aren't
Instagram
on
don't kick us off.
Yeah,
I did see a thing yesterday though where, because everyone's been hearing about, obviously video is king, video is going to take over full screen, and then they actually shared yesterday that because some of the major influencers have kicked back, they're kind of pausing, slowing down on some of the rollouts because they're like,
did you?
Yeah, you go.
Something else that I saw, which I think that you'll appreciate, is that they're saying that they're actually now going to preference smaller creator accounts over the bigger creator accounts with video.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be amazing. I think it's Brock 11 Johnson or something on there. He has a lot of trending audio and a lot of inspirational content about how to be a creator and that type of stuff. But he did a repost. You know how you can remix a reel?
Yeah.
He remixed a reel with the creator of Instagram. Is it Morrissey?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, I might put some stuff in the captions. But there's like he releases all the Instagram updates as they're coming out, so that's where they're all coming from that account.
Wow. Okay. That is very impressive, and very good to know.
How much time?
They were just saying like,
this is what I do in my spare time.
But they're saying don't Instagram stop trying to be TikTok. like let Instagram
It's
be
not going to
Instagram. So
be.
it was basically saying photos are dead. And it was like,
Yeah.
and I always just say, oh, I still like, or static content is dead. And I'm like, but I
Yeah.
still like static. Like I like putting up a photo, and I like,
Yeah.
you know, putting up a Canva tile, and I like being able to use that on other platforms as well. And maybe it doesn't get quite as much, but it definitely, there are still people who go to visit your grid, who look at that past experience. There's certain things that stand out to different people. Some people don't want to watch videos. So I don't know. I just think it's still that thing of, if you're enjoying it or if it feels good to you, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And not one straight, and never like they're talking about video isn't the only way. It's like, well, it's not ever going to be the only way. We still consume other bits of content, like no, but I think it has a place, and I think that everybody could have a go, but I don't think necessarily you need to now only do one thing ever.
Yeah, I've got a separate account that just has like quotes and motivational phrases and that type of thing, and it's my static posts do so much better than my reels.
Okay, yeah,
So
different
much better.
audience.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's, and you have to decide as well what works for you and what feels good for you, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
what you're even comfortable doing. So many of my clients aren't comfortable with putting their face up, or they don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. So if they do a video, I've actually shown them a way in which they can create videos from Canva. So like you can create your own reels and stuff from there with like a caption over the top, or you can do like a launch post or different phrasing, or talk about an offer or a desired outcome for your clients. And they can post that as a reel instead of even having to film their own content. Like they can just use the content that's already on Canva.
yeah, because I quite like some of this one. I saw one yesterday. I was like, oh, let's make this. Where it was like a video. It was actually their video, but it was a video doing, you know, an activity. And then over the top was like that, like a Twitter post. So like you make those ones with their message. I was like, that's nice. That's cool. Like, again, a
Yeah.
way to use those videos that you're like, I like this video, but I have no other way to use this video. It is not relevant, but it shows my life. It's just,
Yeah.
which is nice. But
Definitely.
yeah, exciting.
Yes.
I love hearts. Yeah, give us some hearts. We've got a lot of people coming in and out. So coming, they're saying, seeing, and
I know we're not grabbing their attention with the conversation, but they'll go back and watch this, I'm sure.
well, you know what? I'm actually talking to my group about this week is lives and how much traffic I get after the live. So on the live, there might be like 5 people at any one time. And then after the live, it says that there were 10 or 15 people who came in throughout. And then I'll go and look the next week and there's like 40 or 60 or 100. Like people are going back and watching the live later. And then, and probably because they're watching the video later, they're probably watching more of it. Then, you know, I don't have time right now to watch a live, so I'm not going to jump in. But I'm interested, I'm going to make time and I'm going to watch the whole thing. And I know that they're watching quite a bit of it because I'm getting messages going, oh, that thing you talked about, I want to talk to you about that. And you're like, oh, well, you would have had to watch quite a bit into the video to know that bit.
Yes.
Which is really nice. And then oh yes, hey Em, yes, lives are super easy. And yeah, we were talking about this, Em, actually when we met up the other week, which was great, about then repurposing that content. And so what I'm doing currently is we've downloaded all of my lives and we're going to be putting them onto YouTube.
Yes.
And then there are people as well who I've had on here and I'm like, why, you know, I want to meet them, I want to interview them again for the podcast. And then I'm like, well, actually, this kind of was the podcast. Like, this is the chat. So why would I spend another half an hour and da-da-da? Why do we not put it on the podcast? And then after that, it's like, okay, well, what do we do with, there's an audio that comes off this, and this is what Emma and I were talking about. From a video, you can still transcribe or pull an audio because there's still audio associated. And if you're using something, I use Otter AI, which is artificial intelligence technology, it still can pull from either a video or so an MP4 or an MP3, which is an audio, like various types of, or you can record straight into it, and then you get this transcribed, like full written script of everything that you've said. And
that is really cool.
Yeah, and then that, out of that, you can pull little chunks of text, or it might end up being part of your newsletter, or it might end up being a blog. Like you'll have to tweak it and work it a bit, but a large chunk of the work is done for you.
Yes.
So much content. So
even in saying that, though, they'll all have to come back and listen to you on my podcast.
Yes.
In the next couple of weeks.
Yes, exactly.
When we schedule that.
Yes, exactly.
We can hear all about your story.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, but I think it's so, yeah, why are we reinventing the wheel? And
definitely.
The other thing is for people who maybe want to start podcasts, but you and I both know there's a lot of work that goes into a podcast, whereas arranging these lives is a hell of a lot easier.
And free.
And free. Yes. Don't have to pay for a hosting. You don't, thank you, Instagram. Please keep it free. We don't have to pay for hosting. We get to see our faces. You don't have to share all the links because all the channels are already, follow me. Just follow me up there, We don't have to put all the links in.
Cross-pollination here too. We've got cross-pollination of accounts. And this is why I always promote, like, lives are a great way to do it, or collaboration posts, or just any way where you can, like, cross it over and share audiences, because you can grow exponentially that way on social media as well.
Absolutely. The exposure to, and then the value that other person is adding to your, this is beautiful. So
we could solve all of the world's problems on a live.
Once a week, just jump on, just chat, just talk about what we're doing. But I was sharing with you just before, that I have been, it's gonna be on my podcast, so I don't want to give it all away. I recorded a podcast today, and I'm going to put it in my EDM as well. I'm going to tease it, putting it in my newsletter today, so sign up to my email tribe. But it's about starting before you're ready. And like, so often, people are like, I want to start a podcast, but I've got to have this, and I've got to have that, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. And there's a cost, there's a barrier to entry with the cost, there's a barrier to entry with the skill set. Then there's creative, then there's this, and it's just, okay, well, when I have this and that and that and that, I'll do it. It's like, there are other ways around that. And actually, sometimes we're already doing the thing that we're talking about doing. And for mine, it's my lovely brand builder program, which has been running since January. It's been running for 6 months. I have all these assets created, these lovely banners, these lovely tiles, all these things. But because I haven't built a sales page, which is a beast of a project. I don't know if you've built one, Kate. They are a beast.
I have someone else building one for me now.
Yeah, and they're a beast. And I think I've got post-traumatic stress from the last one we built. I'm like, yeah, we just duplicate and change the details. But it's like, oh no, different audience, different information. Don't just duplicate. Oh my God, okay, I've got to do some work here. So I just frozen. And the thing is, I'm running this program. This program has been running for 6 months. It's got a lovely group of people in it, paid members. I had another woman sign up last week. I'm selling this through email and talking, but I'm cutting off this opportunity to my whole audience because I'm like, but I need this. And when I have that, and I'll start then. And when I do a launch, which is a huge, massive campaign. And so I just sucked it up and gave myself a kick on the bottom. And now I'm just talking about it. So I'm talking about it very publicly. I've sort of like little things here, and I just mention it a little in my podcast, or I mention it here in my EDM, and it's like, no, here, if you want to work with me, I have this gorgeous program.
Please you need to have like a piece of paper that says the program that you hold up on the screen.
I should. I have my like logo there. That's my little
it's back to front though. It's back to front for me.
Oh, damn it. Just imagine it the other way, people.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, I've got that on my wall too. But It's like, yes, you're right. I should just have it just while I'm talking, just
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
like
like,
just like in the bottom of the screen, it's like you've got your logo. Yeah,
just
I don't even have anything here.
subliminal messaging. It is, it's there. It's like,
I'm gonna stick it on the background for my next live. I'm gonna have like where you need to go and what you need to do.
yeah.
Big
So then
steps.
we don't have to do silly point, like, well, we can do silly pointing, but we can actually point at a real thing where we know where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't look crazy at all. And then you got to work out which side of your head. You're like, this thing. I mean, this thing.
My lighting's better on this side.
Anyway, we've gone off unattended. But yes, start before you're ready. I think with all of this content thing, we definitely, well, we were both ready today. We were ready to start. We just didn't know how to get on the live, even for people who create content all the time. So if there's a message here, it's, what's the message?
Do more lives.
Do more lives. Do more lives. Actually,
I think
that is a great message.
I think the message, I think the theme of what we've been talking about is repurpose content. I think that's it.
Okay, because I need a caption for this.
Collaborations, repurposing content, all of our tips and tricks to content creation.
Yeah, but that's it. I think, yeah, collaboration, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, in terms of, you don't need to, you can be inspired by people's content and give a spin, but you can also repurpose and use your own. Like, there are times I do the same. I'm writing something and I'm like, I wrote something really awesome 2 years ago that you didn't know me, Kate. I can see Bonnie here.
Yeah.
Emma didn't know me. You didn't know me. So you've never heard that message from me.
Yeah.
And those are my core key messages. Hey, Rach, that we should be saying over and over again, but then you find like new ways to talk about it, and then you talk about it and you sort of come all this like over here from actually where you should be just repeating your core message.
Yeah. I use like a 10-week content cycle. So I'll have a theme, I'll have 10 themes or 10 content buckets, and I'll look at them from different perspectives over a 10-week period. But if you do that like 3 times, that's 30 weeks, right? And you can go back to week 1 and just repost or rejig, or if you created it as a static post, which you might have before Instagram announced that they were going to do more preferencing of video, you could then change it to a reel, but use exactly the same content.
Yes, I have one of those in my list at the moment.
I do it through the week. I'll do like a static post, a carousel.
Yeah, no,
and a reel.
Such a good point, because I even thought about that once. I was on a trek with Rachel just here on the Lara Pinta, and I was doing photo posts, and then I was like, oh, okay, now I need to make a reel. So I've got photos for this and I've got photos for that. And then it was like, well, people consume content differently. So somebody might want to go and look at the photos and swipe along, or like really look at them. But then I could also put a really cool music and just use those same 10 photos that I chose in a reel format. And even the caption could be very, very similar, because it is the same thing. I was trekking Lara Pinta. Here's a day in the life of, or here's our day one. It could be very, very similar or a slightly different spin on it. But I was like, why am I thinking that I have to create 10 different posts? I don't.
Nope. You really don't.
Yeah. And that's not to say that we need a lot of volume. You don't need to have heaps of volume, but if you want to be able to show up consistently, even if that's 3 to 5 times a week, then you can just have this one piece or this one point that you make in slightly different ways.
Exactly. Don't overcomplicate it.
I'm going to write that one on my wall too.
Keep it simple. Perfectionism out the door. Overcomplication out the door.
We don't need that. We just need to show up and serve our people. And if we're obsessing and worrying about, how perfect it is. And it's also fun to see how far you come along too. I don't know about you, but like you go back to some of your earlier stuff. I was looking at my
early
reels. Channel.
My early reels are the worst,
but then like, but then it's fun, and it's like, and it's a great thing to be able to show your clients, because if they're all like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna look like a bit of a dick, or I don't know, like I'm a bit nervous, it's like, here,
Come and see this.
hold my beer.
Yeah.
Look at this idiot. Like, you know, just, I always say to our clients on the people who come to our personal brand shoots, the gorgeous women who come, I'm like, I can guarantee you that I will be the one making the biggest fool of myself today. I will be the one who's the dickhead. You are fine. You will look gorgeous. I will be behind the camera being an idiot for you. So
I love the behind the scenes of your photo shoots, by the way.
Ah, thank you. Yes, I found
another purpose for content.
Yeah, well, actually, we did a brand photo shoot in Melbourne, and one of the people actually specifically requested that on the day we take behind the scenes. And I was like, I sort of do it naturally, but it was really nice to see that she saw the value and understood that as well. But one of the ones that I probably forget to do, or because of the time between the day and the processing, is that before and after. So there's like really nice with the photo shoots where you can do the behind the scenes, and then in the nice transition is when the beat drops or the music changes, and then it's like, here's the result with these awesome photos. And you know that because you do photography.
Yes. Yeah, I love doing those, actually. I love going and doing a photo shoot, because in my mind I'm instantly like, oh, so much content.
Yeah. And
for me and for them.
Well, and I don't use mine enough in that same way, like that, you know, you could just do flash, 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 because you get given like 100 photos, and really you're probably only going to use 5 to 10. Like, I don't know about you, but there's always like 5 to 10 that stand out, and they're going to be your banner photos, they're going to be your profile photos, they're going to be the ones that you use for the signatures for your program. But there's all these other ones that they're sort of, you might have 10 in a row that are same but different, and it's like, that's the way you use them in a reel, and then they create movement. I say this, you know, I need to go and just make them.
Can't wait to see it all.
Thank you. I will tag you. All right. So I'm going to come on your podcast soon. We're going to share this now. Tell me how to find you. How do we contact you? I mean, here.
I'm hoping that my name's up the top. We're going to click on @KateAstle_. Come and check out all my reels now. Come and check out my content. I do actually add a lot of value and have trending audio and ideas for business owners, for women who are creating their own brand. They might do something. You might just like content creation. You don't even have to have a business. You might just like creating reels.
Yeah.
That's probably the best place to find me. I post about everything else I do on Instagram.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your ideas. And I look forward to collaborating again soon. It's always fun. Kate just tells me what to do. I'm like, yes. Do you
I
want
just gotta
to form an alliance with me?
Yeah. I don't even know what the answer for that was. It was like, yes.
Yes, I do.
We should repost that one.
Well, we'll do it in reverse, because you did the alliance last time, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, we can just repost it. Yeah. Why am I saying we should remake it? Like, literally just, I forgot everything we talked about.
We'll do one with the transition.
Thanks, and yes, I want to do more like.
Or
you know how weird you look when you, like, I did that. I was outside I got my nails done, and I was trying to do that one, and it actually did quite well. But yeah, it was. I'm just standing outside JB Hi-Fi after getting my nails done, and being like, and. Nobody look at me.
That's why I do all of mine home with my like plain background. This is where I do all my reels.
Yeah, I do think sometimes I'm like, is this getting a bit boring? And I'm like, no, this is a safe space.
This is a very safe space. There's no judgment, no eyes. I can be as silly as I want.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, there's something about the you know, there's the like pressure of like, I have to do this and finish it now, because otherwise people are going to start to stare. So I'm going to just get it done.
You only have the option for one take.
Yeah. Well, especially if my husband's you can tell the ones where my husband's recorded it, because it was one of those ones like where I did like had to clap all the time, and it was like, I was like, this will have to do, because there is no way he's recording me in a car park again. He's an Insta husband. He is not.
I've got a Insta stand. I take my stand places.
Just me and my stand. I love it.
I should
All
do
right,
a reel about that.
about our stands.
Yes.
Okay, you tell me what to do. I love it. I just
I think
delegate
that
all of
sounds
my
good.
ideas to Kate.
Watch this space.
Yes. All right. Thank you for today. We'll talk to you again
It was
soon.
lovely to see you.
Lovely to see
Bye.
you. Have a lovely day.